Hey guys, this week my sister will be making some Guyanese Plait bread, so I'm gonna hand it off to her and she's gonna tell us how.
First, we want to activate the yeast. We add some warm water, about 111 degrees, to some sugar. Then we pour in the yeast and let that do its thing for the next 10 minutes. I don't mix the yeast and sugar water together because from previous experience, it always dies on me, and the most important step is the activation of the yeast. It requires warm water, which is between 110 and 114 degrees. Any higher and the yeast will die, any lower and the yeast won't activate. Here we are 10 minutes later. As you can see, most of the yeast has bloomed. There's a small section that hasn't changed yet, but as we mix everything, it should be fine. Our next step is to add the remaining ingredients. Pretty easy, huh? I add the flour in first to act as a buffer between the yeast and the salt, since the salt will also kill the yeast. So after the flour, I just add the salt and the melted butter. Then we get to the fun part, kneading. So I like to mix all the ingredients by hand so I can break up any lumps that may form. It also allows me to feel the consistency of the dough that I'm working with. You can also use a rubber spatula or a spoon, but eventually you'll need to get your hands dirty. You could get around this by using a bread mixer, but like I said, I like to feel the dough, so I'm just gonna do it by hand. Next, we're gonna let this rest for 45 minutes. We're back, and I covered the dough with a towel so air wouldn't form a crust on top while it rested. And now we can see that it's risen to a decent size, so we're gonna deflate this and knead it once again for maybe about a minute or so, just to get everything smooth. Now we want to make 3 balls of dough. I use a knife to separate my sections. You can weigh it if you want to be exact. I just eyeball it. So you just want to roll out your sections into 14-inch logs. I like to use gravity to help me do this. You can also use the Play-Doh snake rolling method, which I don't personally like. And I recommend to roll it out a bit longer than what you need because they do kind of shrink back on itself. Now just align the 3 sections together and we plait the strands. I start in the middle and do left over middle, right over middle, left over middle, and repeat until we're at the end of our 3 sections where I just smush them all together and tuck it in. Then we just do the same on the other side of the loaf. Next, we leave this to prove for another 30 minutes covered. Here we are, and our loaf is big, fluffy, and ready to bake. Once out of the oven, I will rub it with some melted butter just to give it a nice shine. And here's the end result. I recommend waiting until it's a bit cool to cut. And here's Matt.
Well, the bread looks good, but I'll be the judge if it tastes good. So, we got some slices and cheers guys. And fresh baked bread just tastes so damn good, so it definitely gets a pass from me. Well, we got this bread to finish. Thanks again guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.